In America, if you are 21, you don't need a license, you don't need a certificate to buy a gun. All you need is the money. Guns are available in markets at cheap rates to anyone above the eligible age. Civilians in America alone have over 393 million firearms. This amounts to 120.5 guns to every 100 residents, meaning there are more guns than the people. But this is not the talking point. Here, the talking point is the rising gun violence in America. United States might say that it is the world's superpower, heavyweight in world politics, richest and the most organized country. But the reality is that America has been struggling to keep its people safe with its gun laws. And it's not something new that we are talking about. The struggle has been there for years. In 2020, under Donald Trump's administration, there were more than 45,000 deaths from these gun-related injuries. Out of those 45,000, 24,200 were death by suicides. And the story is not different since Biden came. The recent visuals of shooting incident in Brooklyn have forced the world community to take a serious look at the matter again. A CNN report, which was prepared after an analysis of over 40 major cities in America, said that more than two-thirds of country's most populous cities saw more gun-related homicides in 2021 than in 2020. These numbers are open to everyone, but the White House has always remained quiet. Simply goes to say that violence and crime involving guns, especially the mass shooting, have taken a turn for the worst in US since Joe Biden's entry, even after his number of policies over guns. In the last 50 years, over 14 lakh civilians have been killed in America due to these gun violence. Gun rights have been a sensitive issue in America, and many civilians have been protesting for years. But the powerful gun lobby has opposed any amendments. There have been instances in the past where leaders in America were out of office in no time if they opposed these gun laws. America has been the prime supplier of guns to major countries or groups who are at war. America has around $64 billion gun industry. So it may cost a leader heavily if he or she opposes these gun laws. Over the years, American presidents have prioritized gun rights over human rights.
I will never, ever infringe on the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Never, ever.
In an interview to BBC in 2015, former US President Barack Obama has said that gun control laws were the greatest frustration of his presidency. A year later, he was in tears while announcing an executive action designed to expand the background checks of ghost guns in the United States. The speech reached an emotional apex when the president mentioned the 2012 shooting in Newtown that claimed the lives of 20 innocent children.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad. And by the way, it happens on the streets of Chicago every day. Our unalienable right to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, those rights were stripped from college kids in Blacksburg and Santa Barbara and from high schoolers at Columbine and from first graders in Newtown. First graders. And from every family who never imagined that their loved one would be taken from our lives by a bullet from a gun.
Obama's successor, Donald Trump, had a very different viewpoint on these gun laws. He always supported the laws on firearms.
I promise you one thing, if I run for president and if I win, the Second Amendment will be totally protected. That I can tell you.
If some of those people had a gun tied to their ankle, or a gun tied right up here to their waist, or a gun right over here, they would have had a hell of a fighting chance. They took their time and gunned them down one by one. Boom, come over here. Boom, come over here. Boom. If you were in those rooms, one of those people and the survivors said it just lasted forever. But if one employee or just one patron had a gun, or if one person in this room had been there with a gun, aimed at the opposite direction, the terrorists would have fled or been shot. And it would have been a whole different story. I mean, right?
Months after getting elected as president, Joe Biden had imposed certain restrictions on these firearms that include crackdown on ghost guns, modifications on pistols, and nominating an anti-gun advocate to the Bureau of Firearms and Explosives. Biden and his Democratic Party are also the mega promoters of the red flag law that has been imposed by many states in America, but it is pending with the Supreme Court. A red flag law is a gun control law that permits police or family members to petition a state court to order the temporary removal of firearms from a person who may present a danger to others or themselves.
The gun lobby tried to tie up the regulators and paperwork for a long, long time. The NRA called this rule I'm about to announce extreme. Extreme. But let me ask you, is it extreme to protect police officers? Extreme to protect our children? Extreme to keep guns out of the hands of people who couldn't even pass a background check? Look, the idea that someone on the terrorist list could purchase one of these guns is extreme. It isn't extreme, just basic common sense.
Can Biden or his successors ever succeed in bringing any change in the US gun laws?